Do you have that carefree, happy-go-lucky spirit that you had when you were a little child, when you woke up in the morning and you were just filled with joy and you ran across the carpet and you looked forward to the day and you didn't know what the day would bring, but it would be an adventure? Do you feel that way anymore? Hardly. Very, very rarely, if ever. Why? Because of you having reacted to pressures and responded to pressures. Now the pressures are all around you. From the time you were a little child, they were already pressuring you. Do this, do that, don't do that, be quiet, do this, do that. Then you went to school and there was teacher pressure, grade pressure, peer group pressure, bully pressure, pressure everywhere. But instead of responding to the will behind all of those pressures, what if you responded to another pressure? Another pressure totally different than all of those. Totally different than your mom, your mother-in-law, your wife, your husband, your boss, the bills, the media, the peer group, culture. Everything totally different than all of those. What pressure would that be? It would be the pressure of conscience, your intuition, what you know in your heart. Now you hardly even know it anymore, but once upon a time you were close to it. And you felt it as conscience when you did something bad. When you were angry at your mom, for example, you felt bad. That was your conscience. It becomes conscience when you don't follow it. But if you always followed your conscience, then it wouldn't be 20/20 hindsight. It would just be present sight and foresight. It would be just something pleasant accompanying you. Now this conscience wants the best for you, and it wants you to be free. Did you know that? God wants you to be free. See, if you become a member of His kingdom, if you submit to conscience, then what's going to happen? Well, you'll feel a little bad at first as you start to become aware of the fact that you're impatient with your kids and you're hateful toward this person and judgmental and selfish and secretly having bad thoughts about people, things like that. When you see, and not living your own life, and denying your conscience, denying it, and trying to save yourself, trying to make yourself look good and be good. When you see those things, okay, it'll make you sad to see it. You'll feel bad about what you see. But then you know what? Then you'll discover something else, and that is that God forgives you. He's already forgiven you. You just have to receive it. When you start responding to His pressure, I don't like to use the word pressure because it's not a pressure. Conscience is very delicate, very delicately tapping at the door of your mind. And when you're being impatient with your kids, it's quietly saying, don't be impatient with your kids. It has love in it. When you start responding to that delicate intuition from God, you become free of the other pressures. Instead of responding to them, now you respond to God. See? Is that beautiful? It's that simple. So all you have to do is refine His pressure, and don't resent it. And when it makes you aware that you've doing something that's not so good, then just see it, don't resent it. Just see it. And begin to do what you know in your heart. It's obeying that's what could be simpler. What could be simpler than doing what you know in your heart, or doing what is wise, or what is fair, or what is just? What could be simpler than that? And when you start to do that, you know what you're doing? You're obeying God. See? And He's the good King. He sets you free. He sets you free from all those other pressures. And what do those pressures bring you? They bring you stress. They bring you a tummy ache. They bring you a headache. They make you miserable. They make you unhappy. And you never satisfy them. They're always demanding more and more and more. And when you don't give what they want, when you don't bow to them, when you don't do what they want you to do, then they accuse you. They accuse you of being lazy or stupid or rebellious or something, see? They never stop. So how about if you just Didn't say, remember Alfred E. Newman? Remember him from Mad Magazine? He said, what? Me worry? So what if the pressures were there and you just didn't react to them anymore? Instead, you responded to what you know in your heart. It's that simple. So all you have to do is refine your conscience, your intuition, then learn to obey it. It's that simple. And his commandments, Christ said, my burden is light. My yoke is light. He doesn't demand a great deal from you. Just to not resent other people, not to judge them, and to just do what you know is right in your heart.